Fred Goodwin, he's no longer a knight. Is he a knave? He's been de-knighted.
What's that process like?
Oh yeah, what is that like? You know what? Ainsley Thomas is here from London. He's going to tell us about it. She's going to tell us about it. I can't believe I said he. Ainsley, give us the latest on Mr. Goodwin and his de-knighting.
Well, we actually get to hear from Fred Goodwin himself, but today the uproar about it has continued. A lot of the business community have come out in support of him, saying that the government was too harsh, that they shouldn't have picked on one person. But then at the same time, the public seems happy with the decision, as does the politicians. So,
Ainsley, pretty unusual stuff, right? I mean, you don't see many people stripped of their knighthood.
No, you don't.
No, it's very rare. People like Robert Mugabe have been stripped of it, but normally it's people who've committed serious crimes. Fred Goodwin hasn't actually committed a crime.
Right, that's an interesting point.
But he's lost it.
Yeah, he hasn't been charged with anything. Look,
No,
he stepped
exactly.
down as head of RBS. Obviously, he's not well liked, but yeah, he hasn't committed a crime. It's amazing to me that Robert Mugabe ever got a knighthood. I don't even understand how he ever got a knighthood in the first place. Seriously, and Nicolae Ceausescu, the Romanian dictator. Anthony Blunt, the fourth man in the Soviet spy ring. It's amazing that some of those people ever got knighthoods in the first place. But I have a practical question to us here as in America. We don't understand these things really. Is there any sort of hardcore financial is there anything financial related to this? Well, this is totally an honorific title. Is this going to hurt his earnings potential down the line or something?
No, it's purely an honour, but I mean it's an extremely high honour. So to have it stripped away it's extremely embarrassing. The Queen presents you with it, so it could affect your earnings, I guess, but not in any quantifiable way.
Right.
So Ainsley, obviously the knighthood ceremony itself is sort of a public. You get the sword, you get tapped on the shoulder, you go through
right.
that. The de-knighting, is that just kind of like quietly done and we're done?
That's a good question. I don't think there'll be a ceremony to mark the de-knighting, but
who'd show up for that?
Well, I'll tell you
I'm going to be invited to my de-knighting. Thank you. I've got lunch plans.
I'll tell you what. This is good. We have a story on the web about the unwanted list, and talk about the ceremony. In 1621 at Westminster Hall, Sir Francis Mitchell found guilty of grievous exactions. This is what happened to him in 1621. He had his spurs broken and thrown away, his belt cut, and his sword broken over his head.
Right.
You'd want to be there for that. You'd want to see that.
But
that's better than watching Tom Brady get sacked 5 times in the Super Bowl.
Okay, you've been guilty of grievous exactions in the past.
I have, but I wasn't a knight in the first place.
That's true.
All they can do is throw me in jail. Juvie. They throw me in juvie hall. Let's talk about RBS for a second. I mean, what is RBS going through now? What happens with that company right now? I know they're still majority owned by the British government. What's going on over there?
Well, that's right. They're still 83% owned by the taxpayer, and at the moment they're trying to reduce the investment banking and get it back to sort of more core investment, core relationship banking, lending to small businesses and things like that. But they're constantly in the headlines. In the last week, there's been a huge uproar about the bonus that was given to the current chief executive, which in the end he had to turn down because the public outcry was so extreme.